Turning now to campaign 2014 with 18 candidates and a district that includes Malibu, Beverly Hills, and Palos Verdes, the race to replace veteran Congressman Henry Waxman has become one of the hottest and most unusual congressional races in the country.
And now in a latest twist, a surprise endorsement this week from the region's most powerful newspaper has focused attention on a candidate who was considered a long shot.
KCAL 9 political reporter Bryan is live in Pacific Palisades, where a lot of people may be asking, who is Matt Miller? Dave.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, this area, Pacific Palisades, is one of the wealthier communities in one of the richest congressional districts in the country. And as you indicated, next month, voters here will begin voting to figure out who should succeed retiring Congressman Henry Waxman, a legendary figure among congressional Democrats. It's a campaign that's been filled with twists and turns already, and now the surprise endorsement.
I would love your vote on June 3rd.
Great. Nice to meet
Sure,
you.
you too. Nice to see you guys.
Standing out in a crowd of 18 candidates isn't easy, but even though this is Matt Miller's first run for office, he feels he has some advantages. An endorsement this week from the biggest newspaper in the region, the LA Times. And a familiar voice.
As soon as they start waving signs saying, cut my Medicare, privatize my Social Security.
Miller is the host of the Left, Right, and Center Show, a popular political radio program on public radio KCRW. And he says while the endorsement is great, it's the radio show and the voice that voters seem to know.
It is fun as I campaign around the district that most people know my voice, my name, love left, right, and center, and had no idea what I look like. And the fact that that gives me an opening to really make a case to voters.
But it will take more than a familiar radio voice and a big endorsement to win a seat in Congress from the 33rd District, the second richest district in the country, running along the coast from Rancho Palos Verdes to Malibu and spreading east to include Brentwood, Beverly Hills, and Bel Air. The New York Times recently referred to it as the Botox Belt. But Miller says the district still has its problems.
We are a wealthier district than most, but there's still, there's some folks who are doing well, but there are lots of folks who are still struggling in an economy that has not fully recovered.
The executive director of the Pat Brown Institute at Cal State LA says the Times endorsement could be helpful.
Well, I think this endorsement is the first opportunity Matt Miller has had to really break into this race. And while it's a bit surprising, it's not a total shock. Matt Miller is sort of a safe, unconventional choice.
But while Miller worked for the Office of Management and Budget early in his career and hosted Left, Right, and Center, there are other bigger names in the race who are more familiar to most voters. Former LA City Controller and mayoral candidate Wendy Gruhl and State Senator Ted Lieu from Torrance are certainly better known among voters, and there are other candidates who have a non-political following in the race as well, like Marianne Williamson, a popular life issues advisor whose campaign is well-funded and high-profile. And if that's not enough, there are 14 other candidates vying to get into the runoff as well. Miller's secret weapon, his supporters claim, is he's a radical centrist.
Well, it means I'm a problem solver, and it means that I'm not tied to a particular ideology.
Well, Professor Sonnenschein, who you just saw in that report, says that while he does expect the LA Times endorsement will give the Miller campaign a boost, he should still be considered a distinct long shot to get into the runoff. Again, the voters go to the polls for the primary on June 3rd. We're live in Pacific Palisades. Bryan, KCAL 9 News.